Hello everyone, I am Atul Kaluskar, Managing Director of CWW Limited and founder of A1 Labs. CWW Limited is an extension of Crescendo Worldwide, an international trade and investment generating organization. Crescendo Worldwide is having global presence over 50 countries. Over the last 2 years, we are spearheading high-end, interactive, 360-degree walkthrough digital exhibitions. We at Crescendo Worldwide and CWW Limited welcome you all to be a part of today's Auto and EV Digi Expo Edition 2 that will conveniently connect over 2,000 plus key decision makers from global automotive industry on a common platform. This Auto and EV Digi Expo Edition 2 will have opportunities and interactive features to connect, collaborate, and grow with your strategic business partners in the international market. The virtual platform of Auto and EV Digi Expo has technologically advanced features like augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D product display, trade halls, exhibition booths, 360-degree vision, virtual product launch, live conferences, and many more to give you an engaging, interactive, and immersive experience of the virtual trade show. The premier edition of Auto and Digi Expo in the last year, we had visitors from over 115 countries with 59 companies' participation and successful 674 business-to-business meetings between exhibitors and visitors. Auto and EV Expo looks forward to creating successful business ambience and partnerships for manufacturers, suppliers and buyers from automotive and EV industry. By being a part of this virtual event, you will get an opportunity to directly interact with key persons from various auto organizations from India, Germany, Switzerland, Canada, and many more. Specialized B2B meetings with top 50 global auto component sellers and buyers. Today, for inauguration ceremony of Auto and EV Digi Expo, we have with me Dr. Reji Mathai, Director ARAI Pune, Mr. Randhir Singh, Director Electric Mobility Niti Aayog, Mr. Kiran Vaidya, Managing Director Auto Cluster, and Mr. Mahesh Babu, CEO Switch Mobility. Let me introduce, though these dignitaries do not need any introduction, Dr. Reji Mathai is the Director of ARAI. He holds experience of more than 28 years in the field of engine and vehicle testing, emission studies and ambient air quality. He is the chairman of AISC, responsible for preparation and approval of automotive standards. He has been a part of Auto Fuel Vision Policy 2025 committee for drafting this policy. He is a member of various committees of government and bodies like BIS, CPCB, etc., where he articulates views of mobility concern in this forum to facilitate future roadmap. He has published more than 50 papers in national and international forums and have 2 patents to his credit. He is a lifetime member of TSI, GB member of ACE Western India section and Secretary of CIMAC India. Now let me introduce Mr. Randhir Singh, Director Electric Mobility Niti Aayog. Mr. Singh is Director of Electric Mobility at Niti Aayog and Senior Member for ACC program. He is also part of technical jury for EV battery swapping and BIS committee for EV infrastructure standards. He is also leading the Shunya campaigns and state EV policy program steered by Niti Aayog in addition to several other projects. Mr. Singh is BTech from NIT and MBA from IIM Kolkata. Mr. Kiran Vaidya is Managing Director of Auto Cluster, and this institute is supported by DIPP, Government of India, MCCIA and PCMC. Mr. Vaidya is an controlling or managing this incubation center supporting startup companies for establishing in the initial phase. Mr. Mahesh Babu, CEO, Switch Mobility, has been leading India's fastest growing EV technology company with a passion to create customized electric mobility experience with cutting edge technology for 1 billion Indians. He is focused on bringing disruptive changes, disruptive technologies to the mobility sector and making them accessible across segments. And to achieve this, he ensures that they develop a culture-based purpose, agility and innovation and creativity. He is working on several roles like policy consulting in the development of electric mobility ecosystem in the Champion of Challenge, which is initiated by Niti Aayog, collaborate with ARAI, Automotive Research Association of India, to design and improve the course curriculum on electric vehicle technology with prominent institutes in India. He mentors budding entrepreneurs in the mobility space and with collaboration with Niti Aayog and SIAM, that is Society of Indian Automotive Manufacturers. So having introduced briefly the dignitaries, I now request Dr. Reji Mathai, Director ARAI, to have his words. Over to you, Dr. Reji Mathai.
Thank you for this platform and thank you for this opportunity. Let me first wish Crescendo Worldwide all the best for this second edition of the Auto Digi Expo and the premier edition of the EV Digi Expo, which is being held along with the Global EV Conference. The efforts put in to bring together or to nurture the ecosystem is really commendable, and I think it will go a long way in bringing together partnerships or taking forward the goal of the EV culture to grow in a bigger way. With these words, let me just speak a few thoughts on this occasion and try to articulate what we believe can be the way forward as we move along. ARI is being known for its certification and regulatory work that it has been doing in the past continuously. Almost now it's a 55-year-old institute having various labs and being accredited with almost all the required agencies so that the credibility or the repeatability are ensured. Also, we are recognized globally by many of the countries. So whatever certifications we do, it is being accepted by them. So coming to the role that ARI plays in the India's EV ecosystem, the standard formulation and certification is a premium one, means because we believe that if you put into place a regulatory mechanism as standards, we have a level playing ground, we have the customers' confidence, we have the newcomers knowing what is to be done. And for this, we continuously provide policy inputs to, means whatever the inputs have to be given to the government. Also ensure that the India-specific technology development, we partner in that in a significant way. And skill development also forms a key part in that. The standards, when I come to say about the standards, most of them are in place as of now. For the EV, for the battery, for the retrofitment even, now that the retrofitment is a key aspect. So the CMVR homologation aspects for all these are in place. The e-rickshaw, the e-car, even for the charging stations. And now there is a continued effort for the battery swapping models to come into play. Government's initiative have been commendable. There is no two thoughts about that. The FAME scheme, which was brought in way back, has been reworked upon. The demand generation, which is basically the incentives are based on the battery capacity. It's focused on the indigenization. For the buses, it is the OPEX model that is coming to play. And even in the charging infrastructure, whatever has to come up, the indigenization component is key. So the India-specific solutions or the innovative business model are the key pillars on which the FAME scheme is built upon and looks forward to its completion, means taking forward. So what are the areas that we work upon apart from the normal certification and the infrastructure that we provide? Means if you see that there's a lot of research and development activities we carry so that we support the ecosystem in the best way, because while the certification and regulation looks like a repetitive job or a job that is needed for not the components in place, what is more needed is the requirement of indigenous solutions. We were one of the first to start our work on the battery management system. And this has enabled us to really provide solutions, indigenous solutions, and a complete package which takes care of the individual cell voltage, the intelligent cell balancing, monitors the SOC, the thermal management. So various aspects have been taken care, and we have put to commercial use now, this battery management system. Along with that, the EV charger technology is another area where we have contributed significantly. The LEV AC charger are commercialized. Already there are many licensors who are now putting it into place. What has been the need is for a fast charging mechanism. Now, we all know the higher capacity charger will give some inputs to that. But what is more needed along with it is, because we know that the charger alone will not solve the problem for us. We need a better thermal management of the whole battery pack system. So this is, again, we are very focused on that, and the work is in advanced stage. Another area that we are collaborating and working is the battery chemistry. We know that the lithium ion, there are scarcity, there are challenges. So there needs to be an alternative chemistry. So we are working on that also with certain collaborators and some startups on that way. Our collaborations with ISRO is well known because they were the first to bring the battery for the space technology, and we had been partnering them for bringing it for the automotive application. So there has been the support that we have provided at that juncture for this activity. Then we continue to provide the validation support to industry, whether it is the powertrain, whether the chassis, the safety component, and the performance validation of the whole EV vehicle as such. So it is not that just we look into the EMC and the motor testing and all that aspect, but the complete solution to the industry is provided. And in that, when I come to that development aspect, the lightweight chassis design is a key thing that we look into when the EV comes into play. So the aluminum infrastructure, the aluminum structured body recently we had developed, and I think has been accepted by few, and it is going to play a bigger role as the things evolve in the coming days. The Technoverse, that is the platform that we use for supporting startups, is another area where the ministry has supported in a big way. How to support the startups in the automotive sector and particularly the emerging EV sector. So recently we have identified almost 7 startups, and we are going to do hand-holding. This again is in varied fields, particularly from magnets, from battery chemistry, some indigenous solutions on EV hybridization. So there are varied areas, and we are looking into, and we are very hopeful that in the coming days, you can see some very good solutions coming up in the market in that way. So apart from the normal certification jobs which continue the verification, the safety and the performance, there are things to be done beyond it. Now, like we know that in the performance aspects, the range, the energy consumption, the power, and all of the EVs are now mentioned. But as we look ahead, there will be time where we need the quality aspects to come into play. Yes, how many charges or discharge it can take. what is the life of the battery that can be. So these are some of the aspects in the future that we believe can play a key uh, role in taking forward the EV in a bigger way. In the introductory time, it was mentioned that the skill development is a key thing because we really believe that the EV movement will require massive reskilling of the existing manpower. So we have an ARI Academy which offers various courses and also the proficiency improvement programs. These are coming up in a big way and the industry is really taking advantage of it. Industry is collaborating with us on that to develop, as Mr. Mahesh was mentioning, collaborate with us to develop courses that can really prove useful to the existing players in a big manner. Lastly, before I close, I just want to mention that along with the government, we have put into place a web portal for the e-mobility where people can get complete know-how or directions on the how the e-mobility activities can be taken forward, what are the certification needs or how it can be done, what support from ARI can be taken. So this you can easily get from the web portal that has been launched by ARI. With these few words, let me wish once again Crescendo all the best, the conference all the best, and have fruitful interaction in the time to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Reji Mathai, for these encouraging words. Actually, this ARIS transformation from fossil fuel testing, validation, homologation to electric vehicles is a really commendable thing. In addition, what ARI is doing, that helping startups, is a really great thing. And I really congratulate you and ARI team for this.
Yes.
Now, thank you very much, Dr. Reji Mathai. Now, having said this, let me welcome Mr. Randhir Singh, Director, Niti Aayog, Electric Mobility, Niti Aayog.
Yeah, so my name is Randhir Singh. I'm Director E-Mobility at Niti Aayog. Niti Aayog is engaged in the electric mobility and in fact the clean transportation, moving to the clean transportation, this transition, and we are steering it from end to end. This includes not only the battery side, but also the demand side and the manufacturing side of the EV. Now talking about specifically what are the things within the the demand side, within the supply side and the manufacturing side. Of course, advanced chemistry cell program is the one which we are dealing with as of now, and the bids are already out. 2.6 times is the what response we received. It's an overwhelming response, and we will soon see that made in India batteries will be there out there in the market. In fact, these batteries are very, very important. And I shouldn't say actually the batteries, these are the cells which are going to be manufactured in our country. Currently, battery assembly is anyway going on, but we don't manufacture the advanced chemistry cells in our country. We have imported a whole lot of the cells in past few years, and now because of the demand which is going to increase by two things. One is the consumer electronics which is going to be manufactured here of the white goods. Second thing is because of the EV push. These two things are going to really push the requirement for the battery. And one important phenomena which will lead almost the 50% of the total battery demand in our country is shift towards the renewables. We have already the target 500 gigawatt by 2030 as PM has already said during the COP26. So for this also we need the battery storage at grid level. This is the part where the advanced chemistry cell program is going to take off. Second part, which is the FAME subsidy, that is the FAME faster adoption for manufacturing of electric vehicles. That is the place where the demands are really being pushed. We have done some changes last year on the basis of our learnings, and now similarly in going forward we'll be doing the changes as in the demand aggregation, whatever is being done through the ESL. So those things are already being taken care and definitely going forward. as the demand picks up, as the requirements picks up, and as we learn more, we will see more of the things coming up. Definitely, the subsidy cannot continue for forever. Later on, statutory and the strategy perspective, those things has to kick off to keep moving with this pace. In fact, this pace has to finally pick up faster. So these are the things for which we have to work together along with the industry, because right now we are witnessing an exponential increase in sales of electric vehicles across segments. On the back of a growing population and rapid urbanization, India is bound to witness a further growth in the automobile sector, which will be dominated by EVs, electric vehicles. Of course, while the shift from traditional ICE vehicles to EVs is inevitable, there is a dire need for India to establish dense charging infrastructure to support the transition. Given the constraint of space, urban areas for setting up charging stations at scale, battery swapping, this is going to offer one such solution to revolutionize. I'll say this again. Battery swapping offers one such solution to revolutionize the EV charging infrastructure landscape and catalyze large scale adoption of model in India. Batteries account for almost 50% of the net price of EVs. Segregating EVs from the batteries, this could therefore lower the total upfront cost of EVs significantly, and hence it will of course increase the EV adoption. Plus battery as a service, this is also going to be a common business model, not only for the fixed batteries which are extremely costly as of now, but also for the swappable batteries. This involves users purchasing an EV without the battery, which significantly lowers upfront cost, and paying a monthly subscription fee to service providers for swappable batteries throughout the vehicle lifetime. Further, the battery swapping has to be pillared on interoperability also, which is also critical to provide seamless adoption of vehicles without battery and plug and play of batteries across multiple battery swapping stations. When we talk of the interoperability, it has to be on both the sides, from the charging side as well as the discharging side. So we will be working on both the sides. Of course, it has to be done in the phases. So we have already done one stakeholder consultations for the battery swapping last week, and we'll be going forward also engaging with the industry, think tanks, OEMs, battery OEMs, multimodal agencies, all of them. And we have received a tremendous response from all of them. So, you know, policy forming, scheme forming, as well as what are the things which are required at this juncture, including, of course, the IEC, information dissemination, the way it has to be done for the consumer awareness and other things. At every stage, we are engaging with the private people, with the the consumers and all, so that we get the regular feedback. And hopefully, going forward, we will see more adoption. And I also thank the organizers for having this wonderful session. I wish all of the participants and speakers and others to be a good networking session. Hope you enjoy, and exchange of ideas and learnings becomes more, and we see more adoption of EVs as well as manufacturing in our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Randhir Singh, for these encouraging and valuable words. Your inputs were really great. Thanks once again. Now I welcome Mr. Kiran Vaidya, Managing Director, Auto Cluster.
Hello everyone. I'm Kiran Vaidya, Managing Director, Auto Cluster Development and Research Institute, Pune. And also I am Managing Director for Pimpri-Chinchwad Startup Incubation Center. First, I must thank Crescendo, the organizing team, for such a beautiful and required event in these pandemic times. But we hope that this pandemic is over now, and we all will have a get together and we'll come physically. But this virtual and digital meeting, or I can say an exhibition, is very much need of the hour. As far as Auto Cluster is concerned, we are here in Pune since last 15 years, supporting to all the MSMEs for their developmental needs. We have been supported by Government of India, DIPP, then MCCI, Maratha Chamber of Commerce, Industries and Agriculture, and the local corporation, Pimpri-Chinchwad Municipal Corporation. We are also being supported by ARAI and COEP and Government of Maharashtra Industry Division. So we as a strong team here supporting the MSMEs for their developmental needs in the form of prototype component developments, in the form of testing of the plastic polymer parts. We do have incubation center, which has started 2 years back with the help of Pimpri-Chinchwad Smart City Development and Auto Cluster jointly. We have more than 35 startups at this moment, and we are helping them to transfer their ideas into reality. Now this is the time when people are talking about changed model of automation, automotives. Now EVs are there. All the people are talking about electrical vehicles. Along with ARAI and COAP, Auto Cluster is also in the same field of support system for the EV component manufacturers and EV vehicle manufacturers. During these pandemic times as well, we have been active in manufacturing the prototypes, testing the parts which are required by the EVs so that they will be in a position to take their product into market as early as possible. There are various opportunities for all the new industries and new startups to pitch in and try to develop the parts. Along with this testing incubation, we do have a skilling division also in Auto Cluster. With the help of COAP, we will be starting next year the skill development activity for EV related courses for the engineering graduates. At this moment, many students of engineering colleges in the nearby region and many management students, they are taking benefit of our facilities by getting the training on technical things, design aspects, additive manufacturing, and some other latest technologies. So I'm very proud to be associated with this crescendo. They are in this field from last many years. They have existence worldwide, and they are doing a fantastic job of connecting the people. I appeal all the industry people to get benefit of this digital and virtual exhibitions, be part of that, and try to explore the possibility of getting connected and getting the opportunity to increase your business. Thank you from my side.
Thank you, Mr. Kiran Vaidya. Now I welcome Mr. Mahesh Babu, CEO, Switch Mobility.
Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very happy and proud to be part of the inaugural session of a global EV conference. In the conference, more than 80 country participants are going to share what's happening on their country on electric mobility. India is one of the focus areas along with Southeast Asia, Europe, and other continents. I wish during this inaugural session, the innovative minds join together and create something very valuable for each of their countries to serve their customers in the electric mobility space. What I like most is the conference is also attached to a EV Digi Expo and Auto Digi Expo, where 80 exhibitors are showing their technologies and participating actively to show their innovation in this conference as well as the expo. Most of the time, I have learned from the conference and expo new things which I normally don't see in the organization. I hope in this 3 and 4 day conference and expo, you are going to meet plenty of new minds and new technologies which will shape up the future of mobility, not only in India, but across the globe. Along with my colleague, Dr. Reji Mathai, Kiran Vaidya, Randhir, I am wishing you all a very happy session for this next 4 days.
Thanks Mr. Mahesh Babu and all dignitaries. It was a wonderful session, and I now declare Auto and EV Digi Expo Edition 2 as inaugurated. Thank you very much.